Old age is not a destination, but a journey filled with challenges and lessons. Yet, at this stage of the road, many ask themselves, who will truly be by my side until the end? The answer, though powerful, is not always what we expect. It's not our children, our partner, or our friends who guarantee constant companionship. It's something deeper, closer, and often overlooked. As the years go by, we face changes that aren't always easy to accept, relationships that evolve, loneliness that becomes more present, and a body that reminds us time moves forward without pause. But amid all this, there is one essential truth that, if embraced, can be our greatest strength. The only guaranteed companion until the end is yourself. Today, I want to show you how accepting and strengthening that relationship with yourself can transform not only how you approach this stage of life, but also how you find purpose, peace, and gratitude in each day. Together, we'll explore some of life's most valuable lessons: the power of silence, making peace with your past, the importance of taking care of your body, and much more. If this is your first time here, my name is Gabriel. I invite you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because what we're about to explore in this video isn't just theory. It's practical tools to help you live with more strength and serenity. Stay until the end, because the last lesson might completely change the way you see your life and the relationship you have with yourself. Let's begin. Number 1, silence as a lifelong companion. Over the years, silence shifts from being an uncomfortable stranger to becoming a constant companion. It can appear when children leave home, when friends aren't as close as they once were, or even in the middle of a full house, when deep conversations have faded. This silence, which we so often try to fill with noise or distractions, is something worth understanding, because within it lies one of life's most powerful lessons. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Silence is not empty, it is full of answers." Silence is not merely the absence of sound. It's a space to listen to yourself, to observe your thoughts without external distractions, and to reconnect with what truly matters. If you avoid it, you may be missing the chance to know yourself on a deeper level. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of silence. In his Meditations asterisk, Marcus Aurelius spoke about the need to retreat into oneself as a refuge from the noise of the world. Silence is that space you can create within, even in the midst of chaos. It is there that you find answers, where serenity is born, and where you realize you don't need constant external noise to feel whole. But why do we fear silence so much? Because it can confront us with uncomfortable questions. Am I satisfied with my life? Am I at peace with myself? Many people prefer to avoid silence because the answers can be painful. However, avoiding them only prolongs inner conflict. Embracing silence, on the other hand, gives you the opportunity to process, to heal, and to find a clarity that noise can never offer. Let's think about solitude. For many in their later years, silence may feel like a reminder of absences, children who live far away, friends who are no longer around, or a partner who has passed. But if you shift your perspective, silence can become an ally. Instead of seeing it as emptiness, see it as a space full of possibilities. What if you used that time to reflect, to write, or simply to enjoy the peace you once longed for in busier stages of life? Try sitting in silence for a few minutes each day. You don't need to do anything extraordinary, just be. Observe how those moments feel. Do they make you uncomfortable? Do they bring you comfort? Ask yourself what that silence is trying to tell you. Because, as Carl Jung said, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. And silence is the most powerful tool for looking within. When you learn to live with silence, something magical happens. You realize you are not truly alone. You have your thoughts, your memories, your emotions. And most importantly, you have yourself. This is the beginning of a deeper relationship with yourself, one that doesn't depend on anyone else, one that can accompany you until the very end. So how do you relate to silence? Do you fear it or embrace it? Because in that quiet space, free of distractions, you can find not only peace, but also a strength that will help you face any challenge life brings your way. Number 2, memory, witness, and judge. As the years go by, memory becomes a constant companion. But it is no ordinary companion. It is both the witness to everything you've lived and an unforgiving judge that doesn't always grant absolution. Within your memory reside your happiest moments, your achievements, and the days filled with light, but also your mistakes, your losses, and the words you never said. If you don't learn to live with it in peace, memory can become a burden rather than a refuge of wisdom. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "The past is written in indelible ink, but what we write afterward turns it into a different story." And that is precisely what we can do with our memory. Transform it, reinterpret it, and use it to grow instead of remaining trapped in its shadows. Your past doesn't have to be a prison. It can be a source of learning and reconciliation. In old age, memory takes on a special weight. With more years lived, there are more stories to remember, but also more opportunities for regret. You may recall moments when you fell short as a parent, words that hurt, or decisions you wish you had made differently. That's natural, but here lies the danger. If you allow those memories to become a life sentence, they will drain your energy. Stoic wisdom teaches us that while we cannot control the past, we can control how we interpret it. Seneca wrote, "The greatest obstacle to living is expecting tomorrow and regretting yesterday." To move forward, you must reconcile with your memory, make peace with what you can no longer change, and focus on the present. This doesn't mean ignoring mistakes, but rather looking at them with compassion, learning from them, and moving on. Think of your memory as a photo album. Some pictures make you smile, while others you might rather forget. But they are all part of your story, and what matters is not changing the photos, but learning to look at the album with gratitude for what you've lived. Even the difficult moments were teachers. They taught you something, even if you didn't see it clearly at the time. If you ever feel trapped in painful memories, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow, to be better, to live with more purpose? Memory doesn't have to be a harsh judge. It can become a wise mentor if you choose to listen to its lessons rather than fear them. At the end of the day, memory is also a gift. It connects you to your loved ones, to the things you've enjoyed, and to the choices that brought you here. Even painful memories are proof that you lived, that you loved, that you tried. That is a perspective worth embracing. So, how do you choose to live with your memory? As a judge that punishes or as a witness that inspires? Remember, you decide what role memory plays in your life, and if you learn to reconcile with it, to accept both the light and the shadows, you'll discover that even in its darkest corners, there is a lesson that can lead you to peace. Number 3, health is your last alliance. As the years pass, we inevitably face a fundamental truth. Our body, which has accompanied us through every step, begins to show signs of wear. Health, often taken for granted in youth, becomes one of our most precious alliances. It is not perfect, nor is it indestructible, but it remains our companion. Taking care of it is an act of self-love, a way of respecting the time we still have ahead. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, once said, "Health is not everything, but without it, everything else is nothing." While good health doesn't guarantee happiness, maintaining it as much as possible allows us to fully enjoy what life still has to offer. And this isn't just about preventing illness or achieving perfect physical strength. It's about honoring the body that has carried us through our experiences, joys, and struggles. At this stage of life, health is not about striving for perfection, but about committing to what is possible. This means paying attention to the signals your body gives you. If you feel fatigued, if your joints ache, or if you lack energy, are you listening to those warnings? Ignoring them is like turning a blind eye to a friend asking for help. As Seneca wisely put it, those who are too busy to take care of their health must prepare to make time for illness. Cultivating this alliance doesn't require extreme changes. Sometimes, all your body needs are small, consistent gestures, a short daily walk, choosing more nutritious foods, or simply getting enough rest. These actions are more powerful than they seem. Each choice strengthens your relationship with your health and serves as a reminder that you deserve to feel good and live with dignity. Stoicism also teaches us that while we can't control everything that happens to our body, we can control how we respond. Epictetus said, "What is under your control is not the length of your life, but how you use it." If something is beyond your power, such as illness or physical limitations, the key is not to fight against it, but to adapt with serenity. Finding new ways to enjoy life, even amidst difficulties, is an act of resilience. Moreover, taking care of your health doesn't just impact your physical well-being. It also influences your emotional and mental state. A more active and well-cared-for body supports a clearer, calmer mind. It's a reinforcing cycle. When you feel better physically, you have more energy to face your days with optimism. That's why making your health a priority is also an act of gratitude toward yourself. Think of it this way. Your body has been the vehicle that allowed you to live every experience, both good and bad. It has been with you since day one and will remain your companion until the last. It is not perfect, nor does it need to be. It only asks that you care for it, listen to it, and do what you can to keep it in the best possible condition. So, what small step can you take today to honor your alliance with health? Maybe it's drinking another glass of water, taking a walk outside, or choosing a meal that nourishes both your body and your spirit. Every gesture counts, and by taking care of your health, you're not only investing in your physical well-being, but also in the quality of your life and the freedom to keep enjoying it. Health is an alliance that, while not always perfect, can endure if treated with care and respect. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You live in the present moment, take care of it, for it is all you have." And in this present moment, your body remains your companion, your temple, and your greatest tool for living with purpose and serenity. Number 4, faith and philosophy as a refuge. In old age, when physical changes, losses, and uncertainties can feel overwhelming, finding an inner refuge becomes more than just an option. It becomes a necessity. Whether through religious faith, spirituality, or a practical philosophy like Stoicism, this refuge is not just a source of comfort, but a compass that guides every decision, thought, and action. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Everything you hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything you see is a perspective, not the truth." This teaching invites us to look beyond external circumstances and seek within ourselves a space of clarity and strength. Because ultimately, true peace is not found in our circumstances, but in how we interpret them. For some, religious faith provides that refuge. The connection to the divine, the hope in something greater than oneself, can offer a deep sense of purpose and comfort. Through prayer or meditation, many find a way to release their worries and trust in a higher power for guidance. For others, nature itself serves as a spiritual refuge. the observation of its eternal cycles, reminding us to accept life and death as inevitable parts of the same journey. On the other hand, those who seek a more rational and practical approach may find a powerful anchor in philosophy. Stoicism, for example, teaches that while we cannot control what happens around us, we can choose how we respond. This frees the mind from unnecessary burdens and provides a clear focus for facing challenges. As Epictetus said, it is not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Faith and philosophy not only help us understand the world, but also help us understand ourselves. In moments of solitude, when losses weigh heavily or when days seem directionless, these tools remind us that meaning still exists. They invite us to reflect on fundamental questions. What am I learning from this stage of my life? How can I live with greater purpose and serenity? Think about it. Without an inner refuge, life's external storms feel even more intense. But when you find that source of peace, whatever it may be, you realize you can face any challenge with dignity. This doesn't mean pain disappears or that difficulties vanish, but it does change the way you experience them. For example, a grandfather who finds comfort in faith may see the distance of his children not as abandonment, but as an opportunity to offer them freedom and blessings from afar. Or someone who embraces Stoicism may face a chronic illness, not with resignation, but with active acceptance, choosing to live each day with courage and gratitude for what they still have. And you? Where do you find your refuge? Maybe you already have one, or maybe you are searching. It doesn't have to be something grand or complex. Sometimes it can be as simple as a nightly reflection, expressing gratitude for 3 things each day, or reading words that inspire and strengthen you. The key is to find a space that nourishes you, that reminds you that even in the darkest moments, there is an inner light that no one can extinguish. The refugee you choose, whether faith, spirituality, or philosophy, is not an escape, but an act of self-love. It is a reminder that even when the outside world is uncertain, you always have the power to choose inner peace. As Seneca said, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Find that quality in your refuge, and you'll see how even the hardest days become opportunities to grow, learn, and most importantly, live with serenity. If these reflections resonate with you and you feel you're discovering new ways to cultivate a deeper relationship with yourself, I invite you to subscribe and hit the like button. This helps me continue creating content that brings value to those who want to navigate this stage of life with more purpose, serenity, and self-love. Tell me, where in the world are you listening from? I'd love to know and connect with those who are committed to this journey of self-discovery. Stay until the end, because lesson number 9 has the power to completely change the way you perceive loneliness and the true meaning of companionship in this stage of life. Let's continue. Number 5, time as the relentless companion. Time is that silent companion that never stops, always moving forward, leaving its marks on our skin, our bodies, and our souls. In old age, time can feel like a harsh judge, reminding us of what we didn't accomplish, what we've lost, or what is no longer possible. But this companion, though relentless, is not an enemy. If we learn to see it differently, it becomes a teacher, one that teaches us to live with greater depth and purpose. Reflecting on time, Marcus Aurelius once said, "Live a good life. If there are gods and they are just, they will not care how devout you have been, but rather the quality of your character. If there are no gods, then you will have lived a noble life and left behind a worthy legacy." His words remind us to focus not on how much time we have left, but on how we choose to live the time we have now. The mistake lies in fighting against time, resisting its progress as if doing so could stop its march. But that resistance only leads to exhaustion and frustration. Every wrinkle, every memory, every change in our body is a testament to a life lived. Denying it won't stop the clock, but accepting it can bring a peace that few things can offer. Instead of seeing time as an enemy, we can learn to walk alongside it. How? First, by letting go of our obsession with the past. Youth, past glories, unfulfilled dreams, all of these belong to yesterday. Remembering them with gratitude rather than excessive nostalgia is the key to enjoying today. As Seneca said, the most powerful person is the one who has control over their time. Time teaches us to appreciate what truly matters. It reminds us that there's no need to rush anymore, that racing against the clock no longer serves a purpose. In old age, each day can be lived with more calmness, mindfulness, and gratitude. That quiet morning coffee, a walk at sunset, a conversation with a friend, or simply sitting in silence, these moments, once overlooked, now reveal themselves as the most precious. However, time also challenges us. It asks us to accept that some projects will remain unfinished, that not every goal will be reached. But instead of seeing this as a loss, we can view it as an opportunity to focus on what truly matters. Time forces us to ask ourselves, what do I want to do with the days I have left? What conversations do I still need to have? What gestures of love can I offer before it's too late? Accepting time as a companion is not resignation. It is freedom from the burden of trying to control it. It is learning to flow with it, to walk at its pace, to listen to what it whispers with each sunrise. Because despite being relentless, time is also generous. Every new day is another chance to do something meaningful, to learn something new, or simply to enjoy being alive. So today I invite you to pause and reflect. Are you resisting time, or are you learning to walk with it? What can you do today to reconcile with this constant companion? Maybe it's as simple as writing a letter to someone you love, rediscovering a hobby you had set aside, or simply allowing yourself to rest and be grateful for all that you have lived so far. Time is not our enemy. It is our most honest ally, the one that reminds us that each day is a gift and that what matters is not how much time we have left, but how we choose to live it. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Fate is upon you. While you live, while you can, be good." Embracing time as a companion is one of the wisest things you can do in this stage of life. Because when you stop fighting against it and learn to move with its rhythm, you realize that even with less time ahead, life can be richer and more fulfilling than ever before. Number 6, loss as a teacher of life. As we move through life, loss becomes a frequent visitor. We lose loved ones, physical abilities, dreams that never came to be, and even the illusion that time is infinite. These losses, inevitable and painful, can feel like the end of something irretrievable. But if we change the way we see them, they can become some of life's deepest teachers. Seneca, with his Stoic wisdom, said, "Nothing belongs to us, we are merely enjoying it temporarily." This perspective reminds us that loss is not an anomaly, but a natural part of existence. Resisting it, clinging to what is no longer here, only prolongs our suffering. Instead, accepting loss as a lesson allows us to find meaning even in the darkest moments. Old age confronts us in the rawest way with impermanence. Maybe you've lost a life partner or friends who shared your best years, or perhaps you miss the vitality of your youth. Feeling sadness is natural, but it also invites reflection. What do these losses teach us? Every farewell can be seen as a way to appreciate more deeply what we still have. When we lose a loved one, for example, it's easy to get trapped in the pain of their absence. Yet that loss also invites us to reflect on the love we shared, the lessons they left us, and how we can honor their memory through our actions. Instead of seeing loss as an empty void, we can view it as a legacy that continues to live within us. The loss of physical abilities, one of aging's greatest challenges, teaches us to value what we can still do. It's true that we may no longer run as we once did, or our hands may not be as steady. But each new limitation is also an opportunity to discover different ways of enjoying life. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Welcome every challenge woven into the fabric of your life, like golden threads that enrich the whole." Perhaps one of the most important lessons loss brings is the art of letting go. Letting go does not mean forgetting or resigning. It means learning to live without what is gone while appreciating what remains. Letting go is an act of courage, a recognition that while we cannot control everything, we can decide how we face change. Take a moment to reflect. What losses have shaped you the most? A relationship, a stage of life, a physical ability? Now ask yourself, what have they taught you? Perhaps they have made you stronger, helped you appreciate the present more intensely, or led you to find comfort in life's simple moments. Stoicism reminds us that life is a continuous cycle of gain and loss. We cannot stop this flow, but we can learn to navigate it with serenity. Each loss invites us to transform, to grow, and to find new sources of meaning. To move forward after loss, cultivating gratitude is essential. Instead of focusing on what you no longer have, focus on what that experience gave you while it was part of your life. That time, that love, those abilities were not lost. They simply fulfilled their purpose and left you wiser. So how can you turn your losses into teachers? First, acknowledge them. Give yourself space to feel, to grieve if necessary. But don't stay there. Seek the lesson, the legacy, the new path that loss is opening for you. As Epictetus said, "It is not things that affect us, but our opinions about them." Changing our perspective on loss allows us to see it not as an end, but as a beginning. Every loss carries an opportunity, the chance to rediscover your strength, to appreciate what remains more deeply, and to move forward with a wiser, more resilient heart. Learn from your losses, and you'll see that even in pain, life continues to offer its endless richness. Number 7, your inner community, mind and heart. At the end of the day, when conversations fade and the outside world falls silent, the only one left with you is yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, and the way you interpret your experiences. This inner community, your mind and your heart, is the most faithful, the most constant, and at the same time, the most demanding of all. Learning to live in peace with it may be the most important lesson life asks us to master. Marcus Aurelius once reflected, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This becomes especially true as we age, when our relationships, routines, and roles shift. Maybe you no longer have as many people around you, and that emptiness makes your relationship with yourself more evident. If that relationship is hostile, if your thoughts are harsh or critical, each day can feel like a burden. But if you cultivate inner harmony, you will find in yourself the most valuable companion. The mind, like a river, flows constantly. Sometimes it is calm, other times turbulent, and that flow shapes your experience of life. If you allow yourself to be caught in whirlpools of guilt, regret, or anxiety, you risk being swept away. But if you learn to observe your thoughts without judgment, like someone watching the water from the shore, you can find a peace that nothing external can take from you. The heart, in turn, is the compass of your emotions. We often try to avoid feelings that make us uncomfortable: sadness, loneliness, fear. But Stoicism and other philosophies teach us that facing these emotions with courage, rather than suppressing them, is what allows us to understand and release them. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." And those views, the narratives we repeat in our minds, are what either fuel or soothe our hearts. At this stage of life, you have a unique opportunity, the time and experience to deepen your inner community. Have you allowed yourself to truly know yourself, to listen to your thoughts without judgment, to feel without fear? Now is the time to create an inner space that is a refuge, a place you can always return to when the outside world feels uncertain. Cultivating a healthy relationship with your mind and heart does not mean they will always be calm, but that you can guide them with wisdom. Think of a garden. You cannot control the weather, but you can tend to the plants, pull out the weeds, and ensure that everything thrives. Similarly, caring for your mind and heart means observing what you think and feel, and consciously deciding what to nurture and what to let go. A practical exercise you can try is daily reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what thoughts dominated my mind today? How did they make me feel? If you notice patterns of negativity, don't judge yourself, just take note. Over time, this simple act of observation will help you become more aware of your inner processes and guide them toward a place of greater peace. You can also practice gratitude, not just toward others, but toward yourself. Thank your mind for its ability to learn and remember. Thank your heart for its courage, for continuing to feel despite its scars. This act of acknowledgement serves as a reminder that your inner community, though imperfect, is your greatest ally. As Seneca said, withdraw into yourself, especially when you need company. The relationship you build with your mind and heart will determine whether your days are filled with anxiety or serenity, with self-reproach or self-compassion. In the end, no one can be with you 24 hours a day, except yourself. That's why nurturing this inner community is an act of self-love and wisdom. Learn to be your own best friend, your wisest confidant, your most loyal ally. When you find peace within yourself, you will realize that even in solitude, you are never truly alone. Number 8. Gratitude as the engine of peace. In the golden years of life, gratitude is not just a fleeting emotion, it is a state of awareness that can transform even the most difficult moments into lessons of serenity. As we age, losses and changes may make us feel that life has taken more than it has given. But gratitude reminds us that while we cannot reclaim what is gone, we can honor what still remains. Seneca put it clearly, "It is not happiness that makes us grateful, but gratitude that makes us happy." This simple yet profound thought serves as a guide for living old age with greater fulfillment. Gratitude does not erase challenges, but it changes how we face them. It allows us to focus on what is still within our control rather than dwelling on what we cannot change. Take a moment to reflect. What small things in your life have you overlooked? Perhaps it's the taste of a home-cooked meal, a meaningful conversation, or the simple warmth of the sun on your face. These everyday moments, often taken for granted, are the true foundations of a rich life. When you choose to focus on them, your mind is freed from the weight of what is missing, and you discover a constant source of joy in the present. Gratitude also invites us to make peace with our past. Many of us carry regrets or resentments over things that didn't go as planned. But when we look back with gratitude, even difficult moments can become valuable teachers. Every experience, good or bad, has shaped us, strengthened us, and brought us to where we are today. Acknowledging this is an act of deep self-love. Marcus Aurelius wrote in *Meditations*, Do not waste time lamenting what you lack. Instead, reflect on how fortunate you are for what you have. This seemingly simple practice is a powerful engine for inner peace. Gratitude not only heals the past, but also illuminates the present and prepares us to accept the future with greater serenity. If practicing gratitude feels difficult in the midst of challenges, start small. Each night before bed, make a mental list of 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be major achievements or extraordinary moments. Perhaps it's the hug of a loved one, a warm cup of tea, or simply having another day to live. This simple habit has the power to shift your perspective and train your mind to seek the positive even in gray days. Gratitude also has a transformative effect on our relationships. When we express gratitude toward others, we strengthen the bonds that connect us. A simple thank you can open doors, heal wounds, and deepen our connections with those around us. And most importantly, gratitude reconciles us with ourselves, reminding us that despite our imperfections and mistakes, we are worthy of appreciation and love. But gratitude isn't just something we direct outward, it must also be directed inward. Thank your body for carrying you, even when it feels slower or weaker. Thank your mind for its ability to learn and adapt. Thank your heart for its courage to keep feeling, despite the losses. This act of self-recognition serves as a reminder that you deserve your own appreciation and compassion. At its core, gratitude is a choice. It is not always easy. Sometimes pain and frustration seem to take up all the space. But even in those moments, if you allow yourself to find one small spark of gratitude, you will see that it can illuminate even the deepest shadows. As Seneca said, "He who receives with gratitude receives enough." No matter what you lack or what you have lost, there is always something to be grateful for. And in that gratitude, you will realize that peace is not something found outside of you. It is something that grows within. So today, I invite you to reflect. What are you grateful for? If you can answer this question, even on difficult days, you have already taken a step toward a more serene and fulfilling life. Because in the end, gratitude not only transforms the present, but also prepares us to face the future with the certainty that no matter what happens, there will always be something to be thankful for. Number 9, the only guaranteed companion. When everything else is gone, when the outside noise fades and responsibilities are left behind, there is one face that will always remain with you, your own. You are, and always have been, your most constant companion. The relationship you build with yourself will define the quality of your life in old age and beyond. Marcus Aurelius put it wisely. A man's life is what his thoughts make of it. This reminds us that in the end, it is not external circumstances, but our internal relationship with ourselves that determines whether we live in peace or in distress. How do you speak to yourself when you are alone? Are you kind or your harshest critic? These questions matter because the way you treat yourself reflects in every aspect of your life. Aging can sometimes feel like a lonely journey. Children have their own lives, friendships change, and losses accumulate. But rather than being a sentence, this is the perfect time to cultivate a deep friendship with yourself. It is an opportunity to turn inward, to know yourself in new ways, and to learn to enjoy your own company. Stoicism teaches us that serenity comes from accepting what is within our control and letting go of what is not. And what is always within our control, our attitude toward ourselves. If you choose to treat yourself with compassion, respect, and love, you'll find that even moments of solitude can become a source of strength. Imagine for a moment, how would your life change if you became your own ally instead of your harshest critic? What if, instead of regretting what you didn't do or don't have, you focused on what you can still do? This shift in perspective is powerful because it places the ability to find peace entirely in your hands. Building a healthy relationship with yourself doesn't happen overnight, but it's an effort worth making. You can start with small acts of self-love, setting aside time for reflection, practicing gratitude for your strengths, and embracing your imperfections as part of your humanity. Seneca said, "The most powerful person is the one who has control over themselves." And this control is not about harsh discipline, but about deep care for your own essence. Old age is a time to free yourself from external expectations and embrace the opportunity to be completely authentic. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. Now is the time to ask yourself, who am I when I am completely alone with myself? The answers you find in this reflection may be the beginning of a deeper connection with your inner self. And remember, solitude is not the enemy. On the contrary, it is an invitation to truly know yourself. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you realize that you don't need to fill the silence with constant distractions. You can find joy in simplicity, in a book that inspires you, a quiet walk, or a moment of meditation. A rich relationship with yourself also prepares you to connect better with others. When you are at peace with who you are, you no longer seek external validation. Instead, you engage in relationships from a place of emotional abundance, not need. I invite you to try a simple yet powerful exercise. Each day, take a few minutes to speak to yourself with kindness. Acknowledge your accomplishments, no matter how small. Thank your body for carrying you, your mind for its ability to learn and grow. This habit may seem insignificant, but over time, it will transform the way you see yourself. As Epictetus said, choose to be the master of your mind, not its slave. In the end, you are the only guaranteed companion on this journey called life. Build a relationship with yourself that is a refuge, a source of strength and serenity. Because when you become your own best friend, you realize that no matter what happens outside, you will always have a home within your own heart. We've reached the end of this journey of introspection, and I hope each lesson has sparked reflection and strength within you. Life, especially at this stage, is not a race against time or a lament for what has passed, but an opportunity to rediscover the power of our own company, our thoughts, and our connection to what truly matters. Remember, you don't need to be surrounded by people to feel complete. In silence, in memory, in the dialogue with yourself, and in gratitude, you can find an inner richness that will accompany you until the very end. You are your greatest ally, and strengthening that relationship with yourself is the highest act of love and respect you can give. My name is Gabriel, and if this is your first time on the channel, I invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the topics we'll explore together. If you've made it this far, it's because you are committed to your personal growth, and that deserves recognition. To see who is truly building a more fulfilling life, comment the phrase, "I am Stoic," and let me know where you're listening from. I'd love to hear from those walking this path with me. And finally, don't leave without sharing this video with someone who could benefit from these reflections. Sometimes, a few simple words can make all the difference in the life of someone we care about. See you in the next video, and remember, the best company will always be within you.